First alert about the chance of plastic chemicals in the food that you eat. A consumer group is urging popular brand General Mills to reduce the amount of plastic chemicals in prepackaged foods. Aisha's at the First Alert Safety Desk, and these experts are concerned. Aisha.
They are, Emerson. Consumer Reports is a non-profit independent group. It sent this letter to General Mills claiming it found concerning levels of the forever chemical phthalates in several General Mills products. And we've talked about phthalates before. It's used to make plastics more durable. And as I first alerted you earlier this week, some studies have linked the chemicals to health issues like heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. And the letter breaks down which products they tested. The products mentioned in the letter include Yoplait Original low-fat yogurt, the French vanilla flavor, Cheerios Original is on there, also Green Giant cream-style sweet corn, and Progresso Vegetable Classic Veggie Soup. And another one I just actually found is the Annie's Organic Cheesy Ravioli. That's that canned one. The letter to General Mills talks about how even a small amount of exposure to phthalates over time can increase health risks, and says growing research says it can interfere with how your body regulates your hormones. I've been waiting to see if General Mills will put out a statement in response to this letter and the claims made by Consumer Reports. And the director of Consumer Reports says he hopes General Mills will take the necessary steps to reduce the levels of plasticizers, it's what they're called, in its products. I'll bring you a First Alert if I hear anything from General Mills at all today, Steve.